Senior Skip Day takes a tragic turn. Now one local high school student is dead and another is fighting to stay alive.
Dozens of mourners come out to remember two people murdered in their own home. Tonight, the chilling details we're learning about the brutal double murder.
New details about a woman busted for running an illegal personal care home. How you can spot the red flags.
The city of Atlanta has not paid a hacker that's holding the city hostage. So how long will this cyber standoff last? We ask an expert.
And we're learning more tonight about what fire officials are calling an horrific car crash on what some students are calling Senior Skip Day. Take a look at this Mini Coupe, mangled, and inside was an 18-year-old girl who lost her life. Another teenager inside that car, which lost control just off of I-75 in Morrow, survived. That survivor crawling from the wreckage, and tonight she's recovering at Grady Memorial Hospital. That's where Christy Etheridge is tonight. And Christy, I understand you spoke to a friend of that survivor tonight.
I did. I spoke to Tariq Wynn, who is also a senior at Community Christian School. He says it's hard to believe this happened so close to graduation, especially since he told me both girls found out just last week that they were accepted into UGA. Now, this crash happened on a day that students call Senior Skip Day, but these girls weren't breaking any rules. The headmaster of that school told me it's actually an excused absence day for the entire senior class. So some use it to go on college visits, others use it as a fun day. Police say Christina and Michaela headed to the mall to go shopping for spring break when they lost control on a curve. Now, since it's such a small class, Tariq says there's really only 60 people in their senior class, the headmaster gathered all the students this afternoon and told them what happened.
Our graduation is in 2 months, and it's just really hard because there's going to be an empty seat there, and it's going to be rough.
I actually drove the girls' route, and it was this curve on the I-75 northbound exit ramp on the South Lake Mall exit where they lost control. There are several yellow signs leading up to this curve warning drivers how steep it is, but I'll tell you, it's easy to see how if you're going even just a little bit too fast, you could definitely lose control. GSP has not said what caused the accident, but the driver is still recovering here in the hospital tonight, and her classmate has a message for her.
Christine, I just want you to know that, I love you. And, as a sister in Christ, I know that you're recovering, and I know that you will get through this by the grace of God.
And the headmaster released this statement tonight that said, in part, our CCS family is heartbroken and saddened by this tragic car accident that occurred this morning involving 2 of our students. We ask our community to pray with us and with our students as we grieve this devastating loss. Now, a vigil is planned tomorrow night at the church. It is a school and a church, and they've actually moved their weekly soccer game to earlier in the afternoon so the players can attend. In Atlanta, Christy Etheridge, 11 Alive News.
All right, thank you, Christy. An accused killer is in jail tonight after police say he brutally murdered a young girl and another man. We got our first look at Roy Stewart this evening during this first video court appearance in DeKalb County. He was arrested this afternoon, and we're also learning the name of his second victim tonight. Faith Abube has that and more from the apartment complex where mourners held a vigil for the 14-year-old girl killed in that attack.
And Vinny, just moments ago, this area was filled with a lot of people, strangers, friends, and family members of Shaikia Ward, hardly able to contain their emotions. Over my shoulder, you can see where they left balloons, stuffed animals, and lit candles in her memory.
My heart is torn to pieces. It's my offering. Lay me at the throne.
She's gone. Like, she's not here to be with us anymore.
There alone to gaze upon your glory.
When we last saw Shaikia, we all told her we was gonna see her on Monday. Let's see her at school. But this girl did not deserve what she got.
Wrap your loving arms around us, Lord God. Give us the strength to get through. Amen.
Amen.
I'm gonna remember Shaikia, aka we called her Julie. It's a nice, fun-loving person who we all care about.
And I miss her so much. But she would not want us to be sad and cry. She would want us to think about all the things that we've done together, our great memories and the things that we've achieved.
And tonight we're still working to find out more details about what happened, but we do know the name of the second victim. His name, Emmanuel Franco. We're still working to figure out his relationship to the other victim as well as the suspect. Right now, police not releasing a motive.
Now, Faith, I know you've been digging around trying to find a little bit more about the suspect. What do we know tonight?
So tonight we do know Royce Stewart has a record dating back at least a decade. And what's even more chilling is we found in those records that this is not the first time he's being accused of murder. In fact, back in 2004, he pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. He was allowed to serve 5 years of that prison sentence. And tonight, the question on a lot of people's minds, could this have been prevented?
All right. Thank you, Faith.
I'm Natisha Lance with your Speed Feed. 3 ex-presidents will attend tomorrow's funeral for former Georgia Governor Zell Miller. Jimmy Carter, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton all expected to speak there. The first memorial service was today at Young Harris College, where Miller was a history professor. We heard about Miller's early years in politics as the mayor of the Young Harris in the late 1950s. He later served as lieutenant governor and governor, where he became known as the father of the Hope Scholarship. Following today's funeral in Atlanta, Governor Deal will speak at an executive state funeral on Wednesday at the Capitol. Well, Atlanta rapper Killer Mike is using social media to apologize for an interview he did with the NRA.
I did an interview about black gun ownership in this era. That interview was used a week later by NRA TV to disparage a very noble campaign that I actually support.
The rapper and activist says his interview with NRA TV was used by the group as a weapon against the March for Our Lives movement. At last check, the NRA had not responded to Killer Mike's latest video.
He leaned around and looked at my daughter and said, a beautiful little girl, it'd be a shame if something happened to her mom.
After that explosive interview where she told 60 Minutes she was threatened, Stormy Daniels tonight says she is suing President Trump's personal attorney for defamation. Today, the White House tried to discredit her claims.
The president strongly, clearly, and has consistently denied these underlying claims, and the only person who's been inconsistent is the one making the claims.
An attorney for the president's attorney, Michael Cohen, said that Cohen had no involvement with the alleged threatening of Daniels and says he doesn't even believe that it happened.
All right, Natisha, now another story that you've been working on tonight. A woman we know may have been running up to 4 illegal care facilities.
That's right, Vinny. I found out a lot of disturbing information. Take a listen to this.
It's literally a shocking story. Tamika Williams arrested and accused of running an unlicensed personal care facility in a home in Rockdale County. We're now learning Williams owned 3 other illegal facilities with her husband. Take a look at this map. Clayton County, DeKalb County, and Newton County, where a welfare check revealed 5 tenants were living in filth and paying more than $600 a month in rent. Authorities say the refrigerator was very dirty, with barely any food. Plumbing also not working, and there were people sleeping on the floor. Her employee, Tony Powell, is on the run. He lived in the Rockdale County home and was supposed to take care of the women living there. He's wanted for assault, battery, and intimidating a disabled woman. At least once, he used this device to shock one of the women. It's a zap cane, which is a cane with a stun gun type feature that can have up to 1,000,000 volts. It's intended to be used by handicapped people for protection.
All right, and there could be more warrants as other counties get this information. And Tony Powell, who we just mentioned, is on the run. He's believed to be in Detroit because he has some ties there.
All right, so what are some of the red flags if we have to put someone, a loved one, in a care facility.
Right. We want to make sure that they're taken care of as best as possible. So take a listen to these three things that you should do. So check your library for directories of facilities. You can also contact Argentum for a listing of residences, and make sure that the facility has a permit displayed on the premises that's visible not only to residents but also to viewers. So that is the key thing, to look out for that permit when you go and put one of your loved ones in one of these facilities.
All right. Thanks so much, Natisha. And we're now on the 5th day of the hack attack on the city of Atlanta with new details tonight. An outside company has been hired to help, but the city is keeping quiet on details of the cyber attack and the recovery. Ron Jones spoke with a cyber security expert who says it could possibly take weeks and months to restore. Ron.
Yeah, it's crazy here, guys. So this is what we learned. I spoke with a security advisor. His name is Andy Green. He works at Kennesaw State University. He said this all depends on whether or not laptops, desktops, or servers were infected by these cyber criminals. However, the city is reluctant to share that information.
Everything is up for discussion.
Should they pay or should they not?
And again, I shared that I have my personal feelings about that.
Day 5 of the cyber siege, and the mayor is still not sharing whether they will pay the $51,000 to the cyber criminals to free up some of the city's computer systems.
We are dealing with a hostage situation.
However, Mayor Bottoms did share during Monday's news conference the city is not only working with private and public partners to hopefully set the, quote, hostage free, but also called in an experienced cybersecurity company called SecureWorks.
We have significant experience with this type of threat activity.
SecureWorks boasts having more than 4,000 clients in 55 countries.
They're a known player, solid reputation.
Andy Green, a lecturer of cybersecurity at Kennesaw State University, believes SecureWorks is a good choice for Atlanta.
That's a promising sign because they've chosen a solid player to help them with that.
The cost for hiring SecureWorks? Well, the city is not saying, but it's probably more than the required ransom of $51K.
My guess would be that, yeah, we're well above $50,000 at this point in time.
And how long will the city's systems be held hostage? Days, weeks, months?
Could be.
The mayor is not sharing that either.
We do have to be careful as we speak about timelines, but I can tell you that we are working around the clock and just continue to ask the public to be patient.
Now, Mr. Green also says that the city pays the ransom and the systems are set free, so to speak, but they still run the risk of being shut down by those cyber criminals. He believes it's best to hire a company like SecureWorks to do a deep dive into those systems to find out where that breach actually occurred from the beginning and how to keep it from happening again.
Coming up, why did Tex MacGyver shoot and kill his wife Diane? Prosecutors try to answer that question in court today.
We've been wedged. An east wind is giving us cloudy skies and cooler temperatures. I'll let you know when those winds shift and temperatures feel more like spring.
Jimmy Carter says it's one of the worst mistakes President Trump has made.
I think John Bolton is a disaster.
The former president also talks about his cancer fight. That as the late feed continues.